Welcome to Crazy Shit in Real Estate, a weekly podcast where I walk you through some of the wildest, most unbelievable stories you'll hear from the world of real estate. If you like real estate and you love crazy, this is the podcast for you. Before we get any further into this episode, I've got some information to share. This episode is sponsored by Follow Up Boss, one of the leading CRMs, client relationship managers for residential real estate. Tons of top producing agents and some of the fastest growing teams out there are using Follow Up Boss to increase lead conversion, eliminate busy work that you're not doing anyway, and frankly, deliver a higher class experience in real estate to everybody who chooses you as their realtor of choice. So if you're going to keep listening to this, which I know you will, there's more information and a personal review of Follow Up Boss. For more information, go to followupboss.com/crazy. What's the crazy thing you've encountered that didn't fall on a checklist and you couldn't easily manage it from overseas, so you had to just deal with it? I'm dying to know. Suzy, you got to have the story for me here.
Gosh. So this one has more to do just with financials, because no one could deal with it really. So the seller that we sold it from, he had bought it from, he had a 3-property portfolio. And so when we were doing, like the digital due diligence of looking through the rent roll and everything, we were like, okay, well, we need to see your finances to make sure that you're getting what you say you're getting. And he was like, well, I can't show you bank account statements because 3 properties are going into one bank account. And, all of us were like, okay, well, we're going to have to find a different way because that kind of makes sense. So what we had him do, just through what we found online, was we were going to have him sign the rent roll, which means that he is signing it, saying this is true for what it is. Well, we closed and it was not true from what it was for a variety of things, right? He filled it right before we went to close, which sure, he could have filled it. But even to add to this, the property management company was in-house. So he had control of all those numbers. And so when we took it over, it was like, oh, look we randomly have 3 skips, literally within the hour that we took over. How coincidental? Or, oh, this person's balance is not 1 month's worth of rent. It is 6 months worth of rent. How coincidental, And that was the crazy part, because nobody talks about it. Nobody talks about that. The numbers are changed to look better for lenders, to look better for selling, and to look better for all these things. We never knew that. Nobody's talking about the horrible things in spaces. Everybody's just like, hey, I got my first property.
Okay, so I told y'all that I would do a review of Follow Up Boss, because I'm your friend in real estate, and I did. Now, there's a blue million CRM out there. I mean, if you go to any Facebook group, every realtor's like, which one should I use? Which one should I use? And that these CRM, which are client relationship managers or customer relationship manager, whatever you want to call it, it's truly a system that's just designed to help you know what to do next, because you're very busy and you're a multitasker in real estate with all those different tasks and balls up in the air. You need something to help you stay on track, and that's what Follow Up Boss does. Now, this cell phone, not a CRM, y'all. When you save a name and a phone number in there, that is basically a Rolodex. Follow Up Boss is going to take the names and phone numbers and also help you know what to do next, so you can maintain these relationships with your neighbors. Because that's what this is about. Real estate is not about serving just prospects and clients. It's about taking great care of your neighbors' needs in real estate. And if you'll use a tool like Follow Up Boss, where they remember you, they might even call you when they're ready to buy or sell again, or when their mom and daddy do, or their best friend or their kid, and you want to be top of mind, that's what a product like Follow Up Boss will do for you. Truly, it's going to change your business when you start paying better attention to people. They don't have to know you used Follow Up Boss, but they'll totally understand that they are being heard by you. So now there's a free trial for my people, because you're loved. Go to followupboss.com/crazy. No credit card is required. And frankly, because you're my people and we made an ask for you, Follow Up Boss said, yes, you get double the free trial. That's actually enough time to log in, put some pieces in it, and watch it change your business, as it has for so many realtors and teams nationwide. Again, go to followupboss.com/crazy to start your free trial today.
And I want to talk about all the hard things. So no one even on the ground could deal with that, right? It was just like, okay, it is what it is. Like, this is what will happen. And so they're also all like stories that like we were like, this is what would have had to happen. But then I met another buyer of that 3 property portfolio, and lo and behold, the same thing happened to him. And so now going forward, just for anyone, because like in Tulsa, like people will ask us about properties. Like when we're like, who is the seller? We just tell them about our experience. And that's how we just hope going forward that it doesn't continue
because it's
to
really
happen.
hard to
It's really hard to like
prove fraud.
Yeah. And it's really hard to like
We're
rebound
gonna waste
from that.
money. Yeah, we're gonna waste money on a lawyer to so you just have to move forward.
Because like with that though, just to even let everyone know, right? Like some lenders are like, okay, well, we're going to give your money out in draws, and we're only going to give you a certain amount of money if you hit this percentage for your rental income. But what they're seeing as rental income was what the seller provided us as. And if that never actually happened, it's like, okay, well, now you just have to spend more time and get more creative to figure out how to make your rental income actually become that number. And so that's, I think, some crazy stuff that happens in real estate that nobody talks about.
I love that you're bringing that up, because I deal with this on the multifamily in North Carolina all the time, and have investors that get really frustrated because the property itself is in a good location. The rents can make sense, but you're inheriting it from probably a mom and pop investor. And what we're talking about here, they're hiding expenses from this building and this one because of whatever depreciation schedule they're on, and because they're using one account. You really can't break out what belongs to what. And that's just the nature of basically homemade bookkeeping. And it's not necessarily that they're trying to be fraudulent. I just don't think people pay good attention that they've got 3 properties they've owned for 20 years and whatever, we got some money coming in, whatever, we paid off some notes, whatever, the equity's up, whatever. They don't know the age of the roof. They don't know the age of the HVAC. And that in-house property management is another way to shuffle money around. We had one that the investor lives overseas, and he hadn't seen the property in 15 years. And his son was the property manager. Well, the son hadn't gone to the property in years because he didn't have to bother because they were sending in their rents. And my buyer was looking at this property. And of course, in North Carolina, you don't get access to it until you're under contract. But once we're under contract, we're like, oh, this is entirely different than what we were told. And the agent didn't have any way of knowing because she didn't have access. The son was embarrassed because he had no idea how bad it had gotten, because they were just using it as basically an accounting hole. Okay, now don't forget to go try Follow Up Boss so that your business can continue to expand in professionalism, and then you can meet some more crazy people yourself. I really appreciate Follow Up Boss sponsoring this episode, but mainly I appreciate them for giving y'all double the free trial time with no credit card required. So make sure you go to followupboss.com/crazy and then let me know what you think. I'll see you guys next time. Oh, you're enjoying this little clip? Well, the rest of the story is available on any of your podcast apps. Just go search for and subscribe to Crazy Shit in Real Estate with Leigh Brown.